So today's gospel is obviously very, very short, probably to allow the priest a little time to get some colour back in his cheeks after maybe being somewhat embarrassed by reading that, but there you go. So today's votive Mass is I think, a wonderful opportunity for us to meditate on the beauty of God, right? The beauty of God. So Mother fairest love is the votive Mass that we're taking. And in Christian theology for a long time, we've spoken about God having what I call they're called transcendental properties, right? So the transcendentals, basically, that God has there are certain aspects of God that transcend what we know and go into something much deeper. Okay, so God is not just what God says is true, but God is truth. Okay, I can say something that is true, but I'm not truth. Whereas God says what is true, but He is also truth. God can do something that is good, yes, but God also is goodness, right? Whereas I can do something that's good, I am not goodness. And God can also create things that are beautiful, but God is beauty, whereas, again, I'm not. I don't have low self-esteem today, but there you go. I may do something or create something that's beautiful, but I am not beauty in and of itself. So God is beautiful and is beauty, and what He creates is beautiful. What's very interesting today, though, is that very typical for the enemy. He takes something good, and if you deviate something good slightly, you can turn it into something quite sinful. It's not difficult to turn something good into something sinful. It's like, one drop of iodine will pollute a whole glass of water, kind of thing. We take something good, like beauty. Beauty is a good thing, right? But in today's world, especially when it comes to the beauty of a person, very, very easily, that becomes something sinful. So how do we understand, or how can we understand beauty as good, beauty as coming from God, and distinguish that from the way beauty is described and used today? Okay, I'll give you the answer first, and then we'll clarify it. So, beauty in the eyes of God, right? Beauty should be an invitation to love. Beauty should be an invitation to love. The way beauty is presented today is that beauty is an invitation to lust. So they're two obviously completely different things, exact opposites of each other. So when we see some of our young people got up early this morning to climb some hill into some random farmer's field and watch the sunrise, okay? So to watch the beauty of the sunrise. They took some photos of them silhouetted, on the hilltop with the sun rising behind them. Absolutely majestic. So when we see something beautiful, beauty then should be an invitation to love. I see the beauty of creation. I go, wow, God, this is astounding. What you've created is so beautiful. Now, as the autumn colours are starting to set in around our grounds here in Glencummer as well, the trees are starting to go some deep reds and maroons and oranges and all of that, and just beautiful array of colour. So again, we look at this and we should say, like, God, what you've created is so beautiful. Beauty is an invitation to love. Okay, now, that's all fine and dandy, but no one gets addicted to looking at autumn scenes on the internet. What becomes difficult for people is to understand how to react to the beauty of a person. And not only a person, but obviously the pinnacle of beauty in creation is actually the woman, right? Femininity. It's the most beautiful thing in the whole world. So how then can we react to that? Now, if you see, I remember when I was working fitting windows, 20 years ago now, you'd be working on a shop front and fitting a window into a shop or changing a PVC door or whatever, and you'd see a good-looking girl walk past, right? And I used to find it always very interesting, not so much to look at the girl, but to look at all the lads, right? And just watch how the gawk would just kind of captivate, and all eyes would follow, I remember once that we were, again, this is an even longer time ago, but we were out in a certain discotheque, and This one girl came to it, and she was, most girls were wearing, I don't know, normal, fashionable clothes at the time, so I suppose relatively short skirts. But this girl came in what was effectively a ball gown, like it was full length, blue and kind of shimmering kind of a thingy. And I remember, like, all my group of friends, we were young fellas, we were only learning, but I remember, like, we were just absolutely captivated. You know, she just the grace with which she walked in, like we were just, Janie lads, look at that, and she hadn't actually done anything or said anything, but it was just beauty captivated us. Okay, now we should be careful here, because we don't have to think that beauty is somehow sinful, or beauty is somehow wrong, or it's a temptation. You see, that's how the world has really gotten all this wrong. Because remember, in God's eyes, beauty is an invitation to love. In the world's eyes, beauty is an invitation to lust. So these aren't the same thing. So if we see, for us lads, like, if you see a beautiful woman, what should our reaction be? Okay, beauty is an invitation to love. So you see someone who you find attractive or beautiful, you should feel this as an invitation, firstly, to love them, and secondly, maybe even more importantly, to love God. Lord, you knocked it out of the park with that one. Fair play to you. You know, like, fair play to you. She's really beautiful. Now, again, there's nothing sinful in any of this, right? That's just, you know, recognizing that something or someone is beautiful. You pray for them. That's actually an important way for lads to avoid falling into lust. When you see a girl you find attractive, you pray for her. It's like it sanctifies the moment, rather than kind of letting the imagination go. What if? You pray for her. So then you say, Lord, you know, I hope that whoever is lucky enough to marry her, that he treats her well, and I hope that in the meantime that guys who lust after her won't mistreat her or abuse her or hurt her. I pray that she'll be happy. And immediately, it's like the moment has been sanctified. Again, sin has not occurred, right? Now, let's just delve into the approach that the world may have, okay? Someone is considered beautiful proportional to how much lust they induce in people. So the more men lust after you, the more beautiful you are. That's how it's perceived today in the world, right? So the more you show, the more plunging your neckline is, the shorter the skirt, the bigger the slit, or whatever the thing may be. The more you show, the more seductive it is, the more beautiful you are. And you see this with girls on Facebook with their profile pictures. When they have a profile picture that's them in the winter with a hat and scarf and gloves and 17 jackets on, and they have all the right angles, and the neck looking nice and thin. It gets like 20 likes. But then you've got the summer in Barbados shot of them in a bikini, 2,500 likes. Oh my goodness, you're so. And the word won't be "you're so pretty" or "you're so beautiful." It'll be a certain word with S and X in the middle and a Y at the end. And that's what's considered beautiful, right? When you're seductive, then you're beautiful. When you're showing lots of skin, then you're beautiful. When you're effectively in your underwear, in your profile picture, then you're beautiful. Now, can you see how quickly and how far we have gone from God who is beautiful and God who creates beauty? Okay, now this beautiful reaction, this holy reaction that we should have to beauty, has now become so polluted and base and seductive and wrong that we end up with a generation, if not two at this stage, of people striving for something that will only lead them to misery, striving to do things that will only lead other people into sin, striving to be seductive in order to produce lust in people, which then obviously ends in extremely superficial relationships, ends in hurt, ends in abuse. But but we have to do it, because this is how you get love. This is how you don't end up alone. If I don't do these things, if I don't look this way, if I don't do these actions, I'll be alone. And I don't want to be alone, because I'm afraid of being alone, because I want love. My heart aches for love. That's the desire of every heart. And 99.9% of stupid things that we do, 99.9% of sin that we commit is because we're looking for love, but just in the wrong way. We end up doing stupid things, and then all sorts of mistakes and all sorts of depression and suicidal tendencies and self-harm and the whole lot that ensues afterwards. So it's like Satan's plan does not work. And this is one little aspect, it's one simple aspect like of how he has perverted our understanding of beauty. Where as soon as we think beauty, and I see this in myself, as soon as I hear the word beauty, immediately I kind of associate, it's probably a temptation. But it's not, you see. Beauty it's a quality of God. It's a quality of God. It's something good. So when we see the beauty of creation, I should thank God. When I see the beauty of a little child, just the little innocence and the pudgy little fingers and the Buddha little legs on them, and there's even one of our girls here. She says, that child is just so cute. I just want to eat him up. We'll talk about the inherent evils of cannibalism in another homily, but just this idea like that when you see something beautiful, you just want to hug it and squeeze it. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to how we see, especially us as men, how we see the beauty of femininity, the beauty of womanhood, this is something we have to learn and relearn, and maybe unlearn what we've learned in the past, because we're not taught to look upon beauty as an invitation to love. We are taught what's been thrown at us all the time through music, through videos, through advertisement, right? They have things on YouTube called clickbait. So if you're looking up a YouTube video, which I would sometimes do, on engineering, right, and they'll have fast-wearing high grip tires versus winter tires, and which perform better, and they'll have a lady with a low-cut top holding a tire, right, versus a mechanic holding a tire. Now, which one are you going to click on? And you just look at the clicks underneath. The fellow with the mechanic holding the tire has 20,000 clicks, and the one with the lady holding the tire, 2 million clicks. That's the way it works. It's called clickbait. You put a lady on the image for whatever the video is, and more people are going to look at it, or more fellas if it's aimed at fellas, more guys are going to look at it, right? So right from the beginning with Adam and Eve, Adam was created out of dirt. Adam, male, masculinity, is created out of muck, whereas Eve was created out of a human being, out of Adam's rib. So yes, she has that edge. She has an advantage on us. Women are the pinnacle of creation. There's this inherent beauty in them, which again, and this is my last point, beauty then, because it's something from God, it's not wrong or evil or bad. And another thing we've seen here in Holy Family is, and this isn't a bad thing at all, but I've seen how beauty can be so effective even in ministry, right? Where, if you have a mission team, and they're girls and guys, and they're handsome and pretty as the case may be, and they walk into a class, it instantly gives their message credibility before they've opened their mouths, before they've said anything. This girl who could be a model has her rosary beads. Now, before she's opened her mouth, before she's said a thing, that's an incredibly persuasive witness, right? This girl who could be doing all sorts of things and could have all sorts of careers and thing, here she is with her rosary beads. Here she is talking about how God is important to her life, prayer is important to her life. Again, this isn't superficial now. This is just giving our message credibility. If you walk into a class and you're, hey guys, so my favorite decade of the Rosary is the first joy from the. I love the Rosary, and what's your favorite decade of the Rosary? Yeah, it's nice. That's nice. Oh my goodness! All the lads go, there you go. Yeah, see, prayers for people who don't fit in elsewhere. Whereas, and another little example, when we do night fever in Waterford, so that's where you go around the streets with candles and you invite people to come into the church and light a candle. We had some girls who were just amazing at it, and they'd walk over to a bunch of guys and go, hey guys, how you doing? Would you like to light a candle in the church? We're over here in St. John's, and if you want to come down, you can light a candle and it'd be great. You can pray for your intentions. I suppose we could, yeah. That church there, is it? Yeah, that church is there, yeah. Yeah. And are you going to be there? Is that? Yeah, sure, I'll show you. And And then, so I'd be in the church listening to confessions or playing guitar, and then it's like the Pied Piper, this girl would walk in, and 5 lads behind her going... Do you know? And again, this isn't wrong or sinful, but it's, if God has given you the gift, and it is a gift because it's not something you necessarily create for yourself. If God has given you the gift of beauty and you use that for the building up of His kingdom, what's the problem? You haven't seduced Him. That's not. See, it's not the same thing. Be careful. Beauty is an invitation to love. Beauty is not an invitation to lust. So, like, there's no lust involved here. She's not. This is an expression which comes to mind: flirt to convert. Okay, that's never a good idea. Flirting is kind of leading someone on. That's we can't do that. I will never do that. We should never do that. But if people are attracted to you for whatever reason, and you use that to lead them to God, what's the problem? So this gift of beauty that some may or may have to varying degrees, thank God for it. Beauty is an invitation to love. If beauty is in people or creation or, as I say, a little baby, all of this should invite us to love and thank the source of all beauty, which is God. All beauty, everything should return our thoughts and our prayers back to God. And that way then, the world isn't a threat anymore. I see a beautiful woman, and it's like, wow, thank God. And that's it. That's kind of the end of the story. You know what I mean? Like, there's no lust or sin or anything. You just get on with life. Just like I see a beautiful burger. Wow. Awesome. Great, and I get on with life. And it all leads me back to God. It's great. And then the world suddenly starts to become pure. Or then, like, as would often happen to us seminarians when we were in Rome, we had to go through the train station there in Termini. And they'd have these ginormous placards, like the size of maybe 6 or 7 buses, up on they're not screens, they're up on kind of the second level of the train station. Huge posters of ladies in underwear. They seem to only advertise underwear in the train station for some reason. So we seminarians, we got very, very familiar with the ground, with the floor, with the various patterns in the tiling. Oh, yeah. Just couldn't look up. You just couldn't look up. Once you got to the train station, it was look at God's holy floor and keep walking. So there are certain things that, that I'm not going to be able to look at that as an invitation to love, because that's not how the picture is set up. That picture is set up to seduce me. So I can't look at, okay? But what I'm saying is, like, the world becomes pure if my eyes are pure. If I look around and I see beauty as an invitation to love, then beauty isn't a threat. It's not there to seduce me or tempt me. It's there to help me raise my eyes to God. And we do so thinking of our Blessed Lady, who was the most beautiful of all of creation. But not for a second was she ever an invitation to lust or to sin or anybody who looked at her. And I can imagine it's very much the case for St. Joseph. Every time he set eyes on her, he saw this as an invitation to love, an invitation to thank God, an invitation to raise his thoughts and his eyes to his Heavenly Father and thank Him. And so we thank the Lord for this wonderful gift that He has created such a beautiful world with so many beautiful people. Lord, we thank You for all of them. And may our day be filled with opportunities to thank You for the beauty of Your creation. Amen.